before we get started, don't forget to go check out my new podcast, Respect the Drive, found on Apple Podcasts, Spotify, and wherever you find your podcast. And this video is not sponsored, but it is brought to you by the amazing folks who have donated to my Patreon, who have made this possible. Dodge just announced the Durango Hellcat, the 710 horsepower Durango that'll do 0 to 60 in 3.5 seconds. Is it necessary? Let's use the current king of the mountain, the SRT Durango with 475 horsepower with that 6.4 liter Hemi. It'll rip off 0 to 60s in 4.4, although I have not done that and we're gonna go try it. It's also pretty practical. First of all, one thing I noticed recently, pardon the microphone, this door is enormous. Honestly, like it puts an Audi A8L to shame. This is a massive, like if you have kids, this is how you want to load them in and out. And inside, you've got so much room. And to be honest, all I want to do right now, and I wish it wasn't coronavirus time, because I want to pack this car with people and do launch controls. I want to know what it's like to do launch controls with like 7 people in the car. But it is a little tricky to stomach $80,000 for a Dodge. That's what that Hellcat is going to cost. We don't know official pricing yet, but we can assume it'll be in the low 80s. This one starts at about 62, and as tested right here, 76 grand. Yikes. I don't know, man. That's a lot of money for a Dodge that doesn't have a snake on it. But make no mistake, this thing is capable. And with the braking package, you get these monster Brembos. And in fact, up front, you get like proper 2-piece floating rotors. That's pretty sweet. So, you know, when you do option this out the way you want it to be, which is expensive, you're not getting nothing. But at the end of the day, and we'll spend a lot of time driving it, you know, you're getting a Dodge interior, which is acceptable, but I don't know, man, it's a little tricky. This one's Reactor Blue, which I prefer a subtle color. I think Reactor Blue is kind of a silly name for this color because it makes it sound like it's outrageous. It's really not. And you've got 295 section tires on every corner. How on earth do you get... Oh, okay. I guess we come through here. Lovely. All right. The one thing I wish the Hellcat would do is, not that this thing really needs to be wider, but it would look really cool if it had fender flares and 305s all around, so they did like a wide body deal like they do with the Charger and the Challenger. But enough about walking around it. Nobody cares. They just want to drive it. So let's get in and go for a ride. The first thing you notice when you get in are these screens. They're a little outdated. We had the Wrangler Mojave the other day, and clearly FCA has figured out how to make these better. There's all kinds of weird little squiggly lines. Do you remember Squiggle Vision, home movies and other shows, Dr. Katz? Yeah, so it's kind of Squiggle Vision here. But what you do get, and even though they're a little slow to react to your request, is all these menus. Now, the menu that's gonna suck the most fuel is right here, because here's the deal. This will do everything from your reaction time, your quarter mile timer, your 0 to 60 timer. It'll even do a 0 to 100 and 60 to 0 braking distance, I don't want to say timer, measurement. Top speed, someone's done 118, was not me. And of course, peak G-forces. So let's reset that because I kind of want to know if I've done more than them. And the thing is, the 0 to 60 timer will tell you the best the car has ever done. So apparently someone's done ripped a 4.6. I have not done that. I've gotten to a 4.8. And today we likely will not be beating that because it's a little cold and it's damp on the road. Once you've got a little heat in this motor, you can start to enjoy it. Is that necessary? Absolutely not. In fact, you just pissed everybody off getting to like 40 miles an hour. But it's fun, and it makes amazing noises, and you buy FCA products for that. You buy FCA products for like unnecessary things that mostly don't matter in your everyday life, but can act as therapy. Do I need another like 200 horsepower in this thing? Not really. I mean, more than that, really. You're going to go to 475 to 710 in the Hellcat. That's pretty silly. Do I want it? Absolutely. I want supercharger one. Do I want to own it? Probably not, because that is not going to be very fun to put fuel in. We probably shouldn't do launch control in front of a cop, right? Right. Yeah. Don't do launch control in front of a cop. Everything in these FCA products, these Dodge products, are controlled through this central screen. So we can go into our central menu, the SRT menu, and that's where we're going to select our mode. So why don't we toss her in track mode, and that's going to give us the hardest shift settings, suspension, steering, throttle, all that good stuff. Dodge makes it very easy to do a launch. So if we come to a complete stop, wheel is straight, it won't let you do that. Launch button, we're already in track mode. Applying pressure to the brake. And we just bested it, 4.5 seconds. So now we currently hold the record in this truck. Yes. The shifts are ferocious. They have a way of making this feel a little like a Hellcat. It's crazy. It's going to be nuts when it has a Hellcat engine in it. I can believe they're going to do it. It's very FCA to do that. Can you believe it rips off downshifts like this? I do wish that they gave you a button on the steering wheel for the SRT modes, because although this isn't hard to do, to go in and say sport, custom, auto, snow, tow, all that stuff, having it at my fingertips wouldn't be bad. I've got that in my old BMW, my 2010 M3, and pretty much all the M cars have the two buttons now. There's different M modes. So I think if I were to update this steering wheel, I would give it an SRT button. So that way I could just instantly go to my favorite mode or toggle through all my modes. All this performance does come at a little bit of a cost, and that's to comfort. This is not the softest chassis. You feel everything in this car. And like last week I had the Mojave, and it absorbed everything. It's like a rally car, and you could take it and jump it over railroad tracks, and you'd never even notice it happened. Whereas in this, yeah, you feel every single bump in the road. And that's fine, it's fine. But if you're looking for like ultra creature comforts, you're not gonna get it in this. You are gonna feel everything. So if you live on junky roads and you've got potholes everywhere and you don't wanna feel them, this is already out of the question for you. That's not what you wanna see. You don't wanna see undercover pickup trucks. Come on. Well, at least it's a Dodge. If I'm gonna get pulled over, it might as well be in a Ram, right? And that's just no launch control. That's just matted. This thing gets out of the hole so easily. It's pretty incredible. That's pretty incredible. It shouldn't be able to do that. Why does it do that? You know it's 5,500 pounds. It doesn't mask it all the way. But the fact that we could go and get on that on-ramp at that speed, get on power that early, oof. This thing is really, really impressive. So that was 0.95 G over there on that on-ramp. 0.95 G on a public road in a 5,500 pound truck with nearly 500 horsepower. What a thing. It's hard not to love this. It's hard not to love this. How long can FCA keep this up? That's the question. As much as I thrilled that they're going to come out with a faster, more capable version of this. I am very concerned about the future of FCA because FCA likes to rely on platforms for a very, very long time. In fact, they just retired the Dodge Journey. Yikes, that was a long time coming. This is no different, and it kind of reminds me of like Matthew McConaughey in Dazed and Confused. You know, you're like a 20-something-year-old hanging around your high school, showing off your muscle car and your new exhaust. Well, you know, what you should have been doing was going off and figuring out how to future-proof your life and becoming more impressive that way. I can't wait for the Hellcat. I can't. But I want to make sure that we're not going to lose SRT and Dodge products because all we kept doing was throwing in 700-800 horsepower motors into these vehicles. If they just rely on these old platforms for a while, yeah, for now it's a great way to make money. What's the investment in the future? I'm really looking forward to seeing what's next. Ford just came out with the Bronco and showed a massive stride in what that brand is going to become. Not only that, but they've got the GT500, which obviously is not a future-proof non-muscle car. It's clearly a gas-guzzling fool, but there's a lot of technology in it, and at some point maybe that will become some sort of like future-proof hybrid monster many years down the line. And I'm not saying that's what I want. Of course I want supercharged V8s. That's fun. But I also don't want to see these muscle cars die off because the brands were stubborn and sinking their heels in with the platforms. So, yeah, man, this thing is really cool. Do I have gripes with it? Of course, it's a Dodge, man. But, like, it's a 6.4 liter Hemi. It barks like mad, and it just took an on-ramp like a champ. It does launch controls all day long. I love it. I really do. Do I want to pay 76 grand for this one? Absolutely not. Do I want to pay 80 grand for the Hellcat version? No. But I will happily drive them, and if they were depreciated and I needed like a serious tow vehicle, because remember, this tow is 8,700 pounds. Yep, that's the way to get to the track. Hell, even if I had a Honda S2000 on that trailer, I would be very happy to roll up in this. So, those are my thoughts. I think the SRT Hellcat Durango is going to be kind of unnecessary, but I'm excited about it because 3.5 to 60 sounds like fun to me. But if you're looking for a cool depreciated one, this doesn't disappoint. You don't need the Hellcat, even though you want it. So, that's all I got to say about that. Thanks for watching, liking, commenting, and subscribing. Don't forget to respect the drive, and I'll see you in the next one. Oh, and these brakes. How cool is that?